What's poppin'? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy. Time for another mob story. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in, wipe your feet on the rug. It's my day off. Not only am I blowing some platinum jack in the atmosphere, today is Edibles Monday. And today I got Cookie Monster treats by Loud Snacks, the Reese's Pieces cookies, and each one is 50 milligrams, and I just had one. Delicious. Let's get right down to business. This next mob story is a story from a longer story, but I'm going to divide both stories. One is about Sonny Franzese, the other one is about his son Mike. But we're going to do the Sonny story first, okay? Of course, coming out of Costa Nostra News by Ed Scarpo. Salute to you, sir. Before there was John Gotti, there was Sonny Franzese. On Long Island, especially the Long Island of the 1960s, decades before Amy Fisher shot Mary Jo, at Joe Buttafuoco's Massapequa home, making all of us Long Island natives look like jerks. And especially after Ernest Ernie the Hawk Ruppolo's stabbed and bullet-riddled body was recovered from the beach at Jamaica Bay, Queens in August of 1964, most Long Islanders generally believed that John Sonny Franzese was the major mafia power in the Northeast United States. Never mind that Sonny most likely had nothing whatsoever to do with Ruppolo and wasn't found guilty for it at the conclusion of the 1967 trial. Nevertheless, Ruppolo's murder prefaced an unprecedented legal onslaught against Franzese, with prosecutors from Manhattan, Queens, Nassau, and the Justice Department's Eastern District of New York all targeting him. 3 years after the Hawks' end, Franzese was buried in cases. For Ruppolo, for running a $10 million bookmaking ring in Manhattan, for conspiring to rob banks across the country, and for a home invasion targeting an Oceanside jukebox company owner. Ultimately, as the 1960s drew to a conclusion, he was found guilty of masterminding bank robberies and sentenced to 50 years in prison. As for who was responsible for ending Ernie the Hawk, Vito Genovese is believed to have passed the order. According to the Wikipedia version of the story, the Ruppolo hit was the case of revenge being served cold. Decades prior, in 1934, the Hawk testified against Genovese in the Ferdinand Boccia murder trial. Boccia had the nerve to ask for the $35,000 that Vito owed him. The 35 large was Boccia's share of a $150,000 payoff resulting from a scheme to cheat a wealthy gambler. At some point, Vito Genovese decided to simply kill Boccia and keep the $35,000. On September 19, 1934, Genovese and 5 associates did just that, shooting Boccia dead inside a coffee shop in Brooklyn. This was the case that sent Vito Genovese scurrying to Italy. Sonny Franzese, who lived with his wife and 7 children in Roslyn on the North Shore of Long Island, a half hour from the city, was feared and respected, but mostly feared. He was identified in newspaper reports as a doting father who earned his keep as a mafia manager who killed lots of people. He reportedly coated his fingertips in nail polish, his method for ensuring he never left behind a single fingerprint. Franzese would claim he owned a dry cleaning store in Brooklyn, which didn't really explain at all how he was able to host all those lavish parties at the Copacabana nightclub in Manhattan that major Hollywood luminaries of the day, including Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr., were known to attend. A boxing fan, Sonny also palled around with Jake LaMotta and Rocky Marciano, to whom Franzese at one point in life bore an unearthly physical resemblance. At his 1960s peak, Franzese was among the top mobsters living on Long Island, where he was considered the crime czar. From Kings County to Suffolk County, the rackets that fed his more than considerable income, including bookmaking, loan sharking, and the extortion of nightclubs and bars. One of his later efforts, allegedly, was extracting payoffs from pornographic peep show suppliers, though not one of these allegations ever led to criminal charges being filed against him. First of all, I want to salute Ed Scarpo from Costa Nostra News. A nice little mob story. I love doing stories on Sonny Franzese. Again, this was a shorter story from a longer story, which I will do, about his son, Michael Franzese, and his testimony on the Russians and the gasoline tax scheme of the 1980s. I thought it was an interesting prologue to the story, so I took the prologue and made it a separate little story. Short and sweet. Rest in peace to Sonny Franzese. Never opened his mouth, never said a word, was over 100 years old before he passed away, and he lived by the code. Respect. This is your boy Big Rich, Mob Story Season 3. Like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me know what you're smoking on. Like I said, I just lit up some Platinum Jack, and I had me a cookie, and I can already feel it kicking in. I'm going to enjoy my day off, and we will talk soon. Salute.